Good evening, you're tuned on to the weekend edition of Primetime News. We're coming to you live and direct this evening from my Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Zola Outskun. First, the headlines. Death toll due to extreme weather rises to 211. 91 still reported missing. 39,000 individuals in relief camps. Landslide warning for the districts of Gaul, Mathura, Kalutara, Ratnapura, Kegaul and Norelia extended. Government of VSCOT commences work to assist those affected by the natural disasters. A robbery in Nugegoda captured on CCTV. Royal College wins the 73rd Bradby Shield encounter. The Bogavamtat area in Bulat Sinhala, where the highest number of casualties were reported from the recent disaster, is still considered a high-risk area.
The situation in the Bogavati area in Bulat Sinhala seems calm today. 10 people lost their lives in a mudslide beneath Marpala mountain in the early hours of the 26th.
අනෝරා මහා වැස්ස නිසා එළියට බහින්නත් බැරි තත්ත්වයක තමයි හිටියේ. ඉන්න මාම කෙනෙක් කෑ ගැහුවා මෙහෙම කන්ද නා යනවා කියලා. ඒ පොඩි දෙන්නාර මම පල්ලෙහාට දුවලා ඒ දෙන්නාව දාලා මෙතනට එනකොට මේ තුන ගෙවල් තුනක් තිබුණා. ඒ ගෙවල් තුනම පස් කන්දෙන් වැහිලා ගිහිල්ලා තුනේ.
Swarna Nilmini, who was fortunate enough to save her life after a fierce battle with Mother Nature, explained her ordeal.
සද්ද ඇහුණා මේ අර මඩුවේ සීට් කඩන සද්ද තමයි ඇහිලා දෙන්නේ. ජනේලේ ඇරලා බලන්න කියලා හැදුවේ. ජනේලේ අරින්න හම්බුන්නේ මේ සීට් අරෝමේ කෑලි මගේ ඇඟ උඩට වැටුණා. වැටලා මේ මුඩි වෙලිය අතර වැටුණා. එතකොට වැහිලා ඔක්කොම. ඒ වැටුණා එකම මම පුතාලා දෙන්නට කතා කරේ. මහත්තයා මල්ලි තමයි ඇවිල්ලා මට ගොඩා වෙලා කතා කරා ඒ පැත්තෙන් ළමයි දෙන්නටයි මටයි. මාත් හයිය වෙර දාලා පුළුවන් තරම් වෙර දාලා හයිය කෑ ගැහුවා.
The souls that were buried under the landslides were recovered with the support of the villagers.
අතින් හාරලම තමයි ගත්තේ. බැකෝවරේ තිබුණේ වෙලාවේ සියලුම බොඩිස් 10ම ගත්තේ අතින් හාරලා. උදළු දාන්න මොකුත් කරන්න බෑ. මගේ පවුලේ මගේ පුතාලා දෙන්න නැතු වුණා. මම ටක් ගාලා මේම ප්‍රධාන පාර්ටි කියලා බුලත් සිංහල පොලිසියට ගියා. පොලිසියට ගිහිල්ලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට වැඳලා කිව්වා මේමයි මට බැකෝ එකක් ලබා දෙන්න කිව්වා. මේ සභාවට ආවා. සභාවේ බැකෝ එක තිබුණා ඩ්‍රයිවර් නෑ කිව්වා. මං කිව්වා ඩ්‍රයිවර්ලා ගේන්නම් කියලා. නමුත් ඒ අවස්ථාවේදී එතනින් කිසි පිළිතුරක් දුන්නේ නෑ. හැබැයි අර බැකෝ එක ඵලෙම ආව නම් එහෙම අපේ තව ළමයි දෙන්නෙක් හරි තුන් දෙනෙක් හරි ගොඩ ගන්න තිබුණා.
The people who live beneath the mountain have no assurance of safety even today.
දැනන්නේ මේ කන්ද පුපුරලා කියලා කියනවා. යන්න දැනන්නේ. තාට හැමදාම ඉන්නේ මේ පන්සලේ ඉන්නේ.
ඔය ඉඩම බලන්න අපේත් කිව්වේ මේ ඉඩම පුපුරලා අවදානම් ඕගොල්ලෝ කොහාට හරි යන්න කියලා. ඉතින් අපි කොහේ යන්නද ළමයි අර අපිට යන්න තැනක් නැහැ. ඊයේත් ගලක් පල්ලෙහාට ආවා. ඉතින් අපිත් අවදානමෙන් තමයි ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් අපි බලධාරීන් ඉල්ලන් හිටින්නේ මේ අවතන් වෙලා ඉන්න. අපිට යන්න යන තැනක් නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒවට විසඳුමක් ලබා දෙන්න කියලා තමයි ඉල්ලන්නේ.
The death toll due to the extreme weather experienced in the country over the past week has risen to 211. Now, according to the statistics of the Disaster Management Center, 91 people are still considered missing. And while footage of the plight of the people who are affected in the areas are now circulating on social media. Indeed, some gripping footage there circulating on social media these days. Meanwhile, moving on to a story that made it to the headlines, the landslide and earth-slip watch of the National Building Research Organisation has been extended for another 24 hours.
The Disaster Management Centre has called on the residents of Alapatha, Palmadulla, Kuruvita, Ahaliyagoda, Kiriyalla, Imbulpe, Ayagama, Kahavatta, Kalawana, Kolonna and Nivitigala in the Ratnapura district to remain cautious of possible landslides. Landslide warnings have also been issued for the Bulat Kahupitiya, Daraniyagala, Yatiyantota and Dehiyovita areas in the Kegol district. The Divisional Secretariat areas of Baddegama, Yakkalamulla, Neluwa, Tavalama, Niyagama and Nagoda in the Gaul district have also been placed on alert. In the Kaluthara district, landslide warnings have been issued for the areas of Bulat Sinhala, Agalavatta, Valalavita and Baduraliya. Landslide warnings have also been issued for the Kotapola, Pasgoda, Pitabaddara and Mulatiyana areas in the Mathara district, Walasmulla and Katuwan in the Hammatara district, as well as the Ambagamuwa Korale and Kotmale areas in the Nuwara district. Residents living on the banks of Kalu, Kalani and Ging rivers should be vigilant if the rain persists. If you see signs of landslides such as unusual water streams, unusual sounds or trees tilting, get away from the area immediately. 233 people from 68 families were evacuated from the Dehigahena Gram Nildari division due to the risk of landslides on the Kabaragala Kanda. The evacuated persons have been provided refuge at the Dehigahena Sri Sudharma Rahama Viharaya. This was the situation on the mountain today. Several earth slips have been reported from the mountain. The 4th mile post area in Hantana Kandy has been at risk of landslides for several years. Even though these residents were provided with lands in the Galaha area today, their lives are at risk. Newsfirst captured this footage from the Ihalakotte area along the Kandy-Colombo railway track. This area suffered a landslide on an earlier occasion as well. Area residents charged that the lack of a proper drainage system is one of the main causes of earth slips in the area. 2 homes in the Kuilwatta area in the Koya Hatton were damaged today due to an earth slip.
The Met Department predicts that the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces will experience over 50 millimeters of rain over the next 24 hours. It also notes that wind speeds in the seas of coastal areas could increase up to 60 kilometers per hour. The Met Department advises the naval and fishing communities to exercise caution when setting out to sea.
A bridge along the Ayagama Kiriyalla road in the Galkiriyagama area built across the Kaluganga was damaged due to flooding. This has affected over 1,000 families living in the Dummalahena, Atukoralagoda and Baduwatta areas. The Navy has intervened to assist in transporting goods and people through the area. Officials of the NVR examined the area around the Ayagama town today. This is the manner in which the extreme weather affected the infrastructure in the Balakavala, Athuraliya and Kathuwa areas in the Athuraliya Divisional Secretariat area. Although floodwaters are receding in the Inimankada and Mahavatta in the Valivitiya Divitura Divisional Secretariat area, the houses that have been affected are not in a habitable condition. The helicopter that crash landed in the Baddegama area recently was taken to the Koggala airbase today. This is a house that was damaged by the floods that affected the Udagama area in Baddegama Gaul.
The Ministry of Education has announced that schools that were closed due to natural disaster will reopen on Monday.
The Ministry of Education said all schools except for 54 selected schools will be reopened on Monday. The decision has been reached based on the data submitted by the Departments of Education attached to the respective provinces. The 15 schools in the Sabaragamu province and 10 schools in southern province that serve as relief shelters will not reopen on Monday. In addition, 29 schools in the southern province are unable to reopen due to the extensive damage caused by floods and landslides.
Zonal education directors have been instructed to direct students from damaged schools to other schools in the area. We would like to make a request from zonal education directors and the principals of schools at this time. You are requested to take steps based on the situation of the respective area. Please give priority to the safety of the students.
Nevertheless, most schools in the other areas are still being cleaned. Some school buildings have begun to resurface as floodwaters recede. In other schools, the inventory of classrooms have been washed away by the floods, while some buildings are at risk. This is the fate of the Mapalagama Central College in Galle, a place where thousands of students receive their education.
We will have to start from scratch. We cannot use any of this equipment. Everything was destroyed.
This is the situation of the Pitapaddara Degaspe Dudley Sinanayaka Mahavidyalaya. According to the parents, reopening the school on Monday is just a dream.
The departments of sports and agriculture were inundated and all the equipment was destroyed. The walls and gates have collapsed. Grade 8B classroom and the cafeteria have also collapsed. One pathway has also been destroyed.
The teachers are doing their very best to direct the children back to education despite the challenges that are ahead.
There are students who will face the grade 5 scholarship examination and the ordinary level examination. They must face these examinations. The system will not change just because of a flood. We are making great efforts.
Chief Minister of the Western Province, Isuradeva Priya, says that the central government has decided to reopen the flood-affected schools in the province on Monday. However, there are complications in reopening some flood-affected schools in the Sabaragamu province.
By Tuesday, we will reopen 11 of the 14 schools for the education activities. 3 schools will not reopen.
A similar situation is reported from the southern province in relation to 21 flood-affected schools.
The cleanup process will take place tomorrow as well. We have identified 21 schools. This number can drop as process continues. Many people around the country continue to remain affected due to flooding and landslides. Today, Newsfirst, together with the people of the country, launched 3 simultaneous community development initiatives.
The GAM at the V Squad began assisting clean-up operations in flooded areas in the Mathura district today. Volunteers from across the country arrived at the Newsfirst head office in Colombo too to travel to the affected areas with the GAM at the V Squad. The GAM at the V Squad, which split up into 5 different teams, provided assistance to the people of Mulatiyana, Makandura, Sinivalla, Deepavitiya, Matteguda and Deyandara. The teams that were deployed assisted affected persons by cleaning houses, cleaning drinking water wells, as well as repairing plumbing and electrical systems. Dry rations were also distributed among affected persons with the support of the Civil Defence Force. Meanwhile, the Sua Yatra campaign, which aims to provide medical support to affected persons, engaged in their activities today in the Mulatiyani area in Mathura. Doctors, nurses and medical officers voluntarily joined hands with the campaign to provide medical services to those who have been affected by floods and landslides.
ඇත්තටම හොඳයි මොකද මේ අපිට බෙහෙත් ගන්න යන්න වෙලාවකුත් නැහැ ගම් වතුරෙන් යට වෙච්ච නිසා මේ වගේ දෙයක් කිරීම ගොඩක් වටින සේවයක් මොකද ගොඩාක් මිනිස්සුන්ට ගෙවල් වලින් එළියට යන්න බෑ බෙහෙත් ගන්න ඇඳුම් පැළඳුන්නේ
තරුයමයි දෙන්න බෙහෙත් ගත්තා ඉතින් හොඳයි ඉතින් මේ වගේ සත්කාරකම් කරන එක.
Another phase of the Sahana Yatra campaign was held in Ratnapura today. The teams that arrived in Ratnapura distributed aid among area residents and also handed over supplies to the Ratnapura Divisional Secretariat. The aid distributed today was collected by the Seva Vanitha unit of the Civil Defence Force.
Still in weather-related news, this evening 15 divisional secretariat areas in the Jaffna district have been affected by the arid weather conditions.
According to data from the Jaffna district secretariat, 33,359 families in the district have been severely affected by the drought. The total number of affected people stands at 121,049. The Mardankerni Divisional Secretariat is the worst affected, as water levels of the reservoirs in the area have drastically dropped. The freshwater fishing industry has been severely impacted. Accordingly, if this drought continues, it would cause a major drinking water crisis in the Jaffna district.
News from the President's Diary this evening. The Buddhist Association of China handed over 22 million rupees to President Maithripala Sirisena today to provide relief to the people who were affected by the adverse weather.
Representatives of the Buddhist Association of China and Vice-Chancellor of the Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka, Venerable Gallalle Suvanasiri Thero, handed over the aid to the President today. Speaking at the occasion, the President noted that the aid received from various countries, including China, will be used to build houses for affected people. Meanwhile, the President paid his last respects to the remains of Epitavatta Arachilage Lili Nona, the mother of Patali Champika Ranawaka, the Minister of Megapolis and Western Development.
Opposition leader R. Sambandhan visited the affected people in the Ratnapur area today.
The opposition leader, who arrived at the Ratnapura District Secretariat, handed over dry rations to the District Secretary. The opposition leader also visited the Dharmashala Viharya and handed over dry rations to the 250 families who have sought temporary shelter at the temple. It is disappointing. What we must do now is to ensure that things like this do not repeat. There is no point blaming the government or the political parties. Now we should look at how this can be stopped.
Minister of Regional Development Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca says that a program has been initiated in the Kelaniya area to manage rainwater.
A program to clean the canals and drainage systems in the Kelaniya area commenced today under the patronage of Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca. The Sri Lanka Navy also assisted in the operation. His eyes must be shining bright when he speaks of the tsunami. The former Chief Justice got onto my stage and said they stole money that came into the country in the form of tsunami aid and that they put it in his sister's account. He apologized for letting Mahinda Rajapaksa walk free. He robbed that money. He would like if the tsunami hits again. There is no point he is in the opposition. We won't let him rob once more.
Minister of Rural Economic Affairs P. Harrison expressed the following views while attending an event in Sippugama area in Anuradhapura.
Last time when the tsunami struck, Mahinda Rajapaksa created a fund and put all the money that was collected in his pocket. This will not happen again. President Maithripala Sirisena and the new government will manage the aid money in a transparent manner. All details of aid money received from various countries will be published in the newspapers soon.
The National Freedom Front convened a media briefing in Colombo.
There is no point accusing the Met Department. They are providing the forecast using an outdated and weak technology. The forecasts that are sent out by them can be viewed through various websites that provide these data across the world. They sometimes provide better weather forecasts than what the Met Department can provide. More than the Met Department, the minister in charge of disaster management should be held accountable. He was not even in the country. He has come back all of a sudden and is making various statements. If this was some other country, the subject minister would have resigned. According to what I know, Anurayapa is not someone who would resign.
Minister Sajid Premadasa distributed drinking water to the people of Silamodara in Tangol.
420 families in the Silamodara area in Tangol who were affected by the floods were provided with drinking water today.
At a moment of tragedy like this, many individuals are trying to promote division and take advantage of it to come to power. We are saddened by the acts of those who are trying to gain political advantage at a moment like this. Some say that we did not receive any aid from the north, or there was no aid from the Muslim communities. What are they trying to do by making such statements? Create religious and ethnic division? They are trying to achieve political targets through this. Shifting your attention onto a story that made it to the headlines this evening. Now, CCTV camera captured footage of a robbery that took place in a shop in Nugegoda.
This robbery had taken place at 2 a.m. yesterday. The owner said that the thief had made away with cash and several goods. During the robbery, security personnel from an education institute nearby had seen the thief and removed him from the premises. However, he had managed to break free and hide inside a culvert in the area. When police inspected the culvert, they recovered the clothes of the robber. Investigations are underway.
First up in sports this evening, we take a look at Bradby. Now, Royal College Colombo clinched victory of the second leg of the 73rd Bradby encounter and went on to retain the Bradby Shield today.
The first leg of the 73rd Bradby encounter, which was worked off in Kandy, saw Royal College Colombo clinching a 22-17 win against host Trinity College. The second leg kicked off at the Royal College Sports Complex this afternoon, and both teams were on equal footing in the first half, having scored 3 points each. Backed by a vocal home crowd, the Royalists turned up their game and scored 2 tries, increasing their tally to 2 points in the second half. Trinity responded late in the second half with a solitary try. At the long whistle, the score read 13-8 in favour of Royal College Colombo. With an aggregate score of 35 points to 25, the lads from Reed Avenue retained the prestigious Bradby Shield for a third consecutive year.
In the latest one, the game now chasing 300 for victory, Sri Lanka were 127 for the loss of 4 wickets in 21 overs. Meanwhile, the Oman cricket team, coached by former Sri Lankan cricketer Duleep Mendes, was crowned the champions of the ICC World Cricket League Division 3. The final match of the league was played between Oman and Canada in Uganda last week.
With rain hampering the final match between the two finalists, Oman and Canada, Oman were declared winners by virtue of finishing on top of the list in the group stage. The victory took the Oman national cricket team to Division 2 in the ICC World Cricket League. According to cricketing experts, the exceptional work of the coach and the dedication of the team has seen them move up from Division 5 to Division 2 in just 1.5 years. In addition to Duleep Mendes, the Oman cricket team has also enlisted the services of former Sri Lankan cricketers Romesh Ratnayaka and Ruwan Kalpage in their coaching team.
I could remember that sometimes when we go out and say that we play cricket in Oman, they wonder where is Oman. But now everyone knows in the cricketing fraternity, I think everyone knows where Oman is and what Oman has done during the last few months and years. And everyone is looking forward to seeing Oman. And we play exciting cricket. And all credit should go to the players and the board.
Well, on that note, we wrap up this edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for stopping by. For more news, log on to our award-winning website, www.newsfirst.lk. For the news team, I'm Joel Outspoon. Have yourself a great evening ahead.